Hello and welcome to Flix and Chill with me, Luke. Today I have a very special guest on my show, David here. David is here. So David, why don't you take it away and introduce yourself, please?
Sure. How you doing, Luke? Thanks for having me on the podcast. My name is David Knight. Live in North Carolina, born and raised here. I'm an aspiring actor, writer. There's a few things that I'm kind of in the process of working on that I've been booked for, but
Okay.
nothing's really been finalized or going yet. So I don't want to say too much about it, but
Hmm.
I think they'll be very cool things. And yeah, so I'm very excited about that and other opportunities as well. I just try to live my best life and be happy. So.
Okay, okay. So you said you're aspiring writer and an actor. So does that mean there's already something's happened?
Well, I have been booked and filmed
Hmm.
one small project for the UNC School of the Arts, but it's still in the process of being edited and put together. So it hasn't been released yet.
Hmm.
Um, it's called Cherry Red. I have a small supporting role as a husband of the I guess the killer or whatever.
Hmm.
So that was my first credit. I'm waiting for it to come out so I can finish having it on my IMDb as a credit. So I'll be very happy about that once that comes out. So I have done one
Nice.
thing. Had some auditions for a few SAG projects, but nothing's come of that yet. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I think things are going the right direction this year. A lot of things are starting to go better for me. So I feel
Okay.
very upbeat and happy, and I think it's just going to keep getting better. So
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds
yeah.
very good. What made you pursue that career, like, acting, writing? Have you always been into art, or have you always wanted to try your hand there, or?
I've always liked movies,
Hmm.
and I've always been interested in the acting and the art of it. I just was always very shy and awkward growing up, and I never thought that I could do something like that. And I was working at a bank, and Wells Fargo was there for about 12 years. I was very depressed and miserable, and I was just unhappy. And I
Hmm.
was trying to find other things to make me happy, and I was interested in doing acting. So I started submitting for stuff. Didn't had no idea what I was doing. Had no clue what to do, what was legit, what was not. Knew nothing. Went to a few acting classes, and I kind of got the bug. And even though I was still new and I was having good days and bad days, it was one of those deals where it was like I really liked it. And I began
Hmm.
just pursuing for stuff, and I could do something a little here, a little there, like background or a day player thing for a school or something. But I'm really trying to, tack it up a notch, and try to get going. So
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it's fun. I just enjoy it.
Hmm. And you mentioned you're in North Carolina, so how does this work when it comes to pursuing an acting career? Because I don't know, I have, my understanding is if you want to act or be part of a movies, quote unquote, you go either to New York or, Los Angeles. So how does that work for you being in North Carolina?
Right. Well, like I said, Wilmington is at the coast, at the beach, in North Carolina. No, a lot of television shows and movies have been shot there over the years. Maximum Overdrive was shot there. One Tree Hill TV show was shot in North Carolina.
Hmm.
I think the mayor of Kingstown is filmed there.
Okay.
A lot of and one of the last Halloween movies was actually filmed there. So a
Ah,
lot of stuff
nice.
is filmed in Wilmington, but there's also Atlanta, which is about 4 hours away. It's 4 hours south on 85 straight shot.
Hmm.
And a lot of stuff is filmed there.
Hmm.
So they have movies, they have all kinds of opportunities to do things. You'd be surprised. Now, it's not like the the big budget stuff you would think as like New York or LA, because a
Hmm.
lot of people they'll film here because they get better tax breaks and things like that, and it
Yeah.
actually gives them more of a benefit to go film there. LA and so people also go. There's also all kinds of places besides Chicago's a big place. Texas has a lot of stuff. So you'd be surprised if you want to be an actor, you can do it just about anywhere. And the
Hmm.
push comes to shove, if you can always try to do theater. But there's
Yeah.
theaters all over the place. So
And have you tried that? Or have you had a like, that kind of, oh yeah, maybe I will try theater as well.
I've thought about it. My schedule right now is so hectic, and
Hmm.
it takes a lot. It's a big time commitment.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, when you first start is non-paying. You don't get paid anything for it. It's volunteer.
Yeah.
So you do it to get experience and to get credits. Is what you're doing it for. It's a community kind of thing. And
Hmm.
with me trying to work, my schedule is really random. So
Hmm.
it'd be difficult for me to be able to focus the way I feel comfortable with it. I mean, I haven't ruled it out. I am trying to get my situation a little better where I can do that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
right now, it's just not quite the right time for the theater. But
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get you. I get you. So, okay, so besides this, besides, you trying your hand and acting and writing and all this, what makes David David? Do you even have time for any other hobbies besides, like, obviously you like movies, that's why you're here, but do you
Mm.
have times for any other hobbies?
Well, I mean, honestly, I mean, the main thing I do have a daughter and I'm separated. I
Hmm.
also I have a girlfriend now, been dating her for over a year,
Hmm.
and we got our own place. So, life is pretty busy, but I love spending time with my family.
Hmm.
We visit her family as well. We do like to ride around and check out and see things. But we're both really into movies. We both got the AMC A list pass. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you pay like a monthly
Yeah.
rate and you get like 3 or 4 movies a week for free
Hmm.
with the pass, and you get discounts and all kinds of stuff. So we'll go at least once a week to a movie. It's rarely we go a week without seeing something, and
Hmm.
it's not too far away, and we can both talk about it and break down stuff because she works in television, so she's kind of in that world too.
Oh, nice. Like a
Yeah.
local like TV news or something like that, or
She's done a lot of different things over the years. She's worked at LA, she's been in Florida, she's done local, she's done like big network, she's done all kinds of stuff. She's done a lot of things. We'd be here all day if I discussed that, but she's
ah,
done
yeah,
a lot.
yeah, no, no, I get you, I get you. Okay, that sounds interesting. So
Yeah.
you mentioned North Carolina. I believe you might be the first person I've talked to on this podcast from North Carolina. So I'm interested what you're gonna say. So if I were to ask you, David, hey, I'm coming there for a week for a
Uh-huh.
holiday, where would you recommend me to go? What do I need to see? What do I need to try for like, cuisine, when in North Carolina?
North Carolina. Well, I mean, I live in Salisbury, and I'll be truthful. There's not much in Salisbury. There's not a
Okay.
lot. I mean, it's good enough. It has all the basic stuff you need, but it doesn't
Hmm.
have anything above and beyond.
Yeah.
So I would recommend, and unless you happen to be here for the Cherwine Festival, yeah, have you heard of Cherwine?
No, I don't think so.
It's a soft drink. It's a local specialty here in the Southeast, and it was originally created and made in North Carolina. People love it here. I'm not a Cherry fan personally; it's not my thing. But
Hmm.
people love Cherry. They have a damn Cherry Festival every year.
I
People come and
see.
do all kinds of Cherry themed stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting to see. But that's only once a year, I think they do that. But if I were you, I'd go to Charlotte. Charlotte has all kinds of concerts. They have sporting events. They have a lot of things going on in Charlotte, clubs,
Hmm.
bars.
Hmm.
So I recommend go about an hour or so south. Just go to Charlotte. you know, there's not, or Winston has a few things too, but not, it's not quite big as Charlotte, but more to Salisbury. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And does North Carolina is it famous for any particular like cuisine or like a dish that's like, hey, this is what we do here and it's the best there is?
a couple of things are known for. A barbecue is real big down here, especially
Okay.
in Lexington, which isn't too far from here. It's about 30 minutes north of here. Lexington, they have a barbecue there every year. We're known for our barbecue. We're also known for tobacco. Like RJ Reynolds is based here. Most of my
Hmm.
family actually worked at Reynolds at some point throughout their life. Back to my grandparents and my dad and my uncles. And my brother-in-law still works there now. He's on there now, so
Yeah.
he's tried to get me a job there, but it hadn't worked out yet. So, but yeah, so I'd say tobacco is a big one, and probably barbecue.
Barbecue. You can never go wrong with a good barbecue. And like
Nope.
Americans know how to do barbecues. I've heard that. So
Yeah,
that's
it's funny though because you get barbecue in North Carolina, it's not the same as in Texas. Like
that
Texas barbecue is a whole different thing. You
I was
know?
gonna say, like, yeah, like I've heard, like, Louisiana, Texas, that's where you want to be for your barbecue needs, you know.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And up north,
yeah.
people are like, "What's barbecue?" I don't know what that is.
Okay, that sounds intriguing. Like again, to me, as a person who's never been to any of the United States of America, I like, this is what I like how North Carolina, like, you still guys do barbecue and it's, I would imagine, pretty good, but it's not, the same as Texas or Louisiana, even though those are technically your neighbors, like your neighboring state, really. Like, I don't mean
Yeah,
geographically, I know that you're slightly further apart, but, that's fascinating to me.
yeah. Texas is about a 20-hour haul.
Yeah, yeah, no, no,
It's
I know.
about
Yeah,
12 or 13 to Louisiana. It's a nice little drive.
I was gonna say that's like you probably can just take a plane there, no?
Well, it's easier to fly. Yeah, definitely fly if you can fly.
Yeah.
But some people don't like flying. I got a lot of family that just doesn't fly. All
What
my
about
family
you?
just drive everywhere they go.
Yeah. What about you and flying?
I have never flown before. I'm not scared of
Wait,
it.
really?
No, never
In
flown
your
before. I'm
life,
not
you've never
scared
been on
of
a
it.
plane?
No, I haven't. I'm not
What?
that I'm not scared about it. I just never had to.
Okay.
And my girlfriend wants to change that drastically. She wants to go to LA. She wants to go to Vegas because she's from
Hmm.
the West Coast. So and I want to go. And you're not driving that. That's way too far to drive.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fly eventually. It's just it hasn't happened yet. Or if I've had to go somewhere like Florida or something, it's been like an emergency. Or I've had to take it's been a family trip, and I don't want to haul all that stuff on a plane. And So, but yeah, that's going to change soon enough. But no, I've never flown before.
Wow. I know there's a stereotype of Americans like like many would not even have a passport, so they wouldn't travel like internationally, but they would still like I damn, you're quite rare, I think. I don't think there's many
Yeah,
people nowadays that wouldn't have flown like ever.
yeah. I say I've lived kind of a sheltered life, but
Oh, I see. I see.
I do want to change that though for sure.
Yeah, I know. And again, if this acting gig works out, you will probably be quote unquote forced to fly because obviously it's going to be easier.
Right.
It's going to be faster to get places.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So, hopefully that will work out.
Yeah.
Okay, I think with that we can move to the this or that, where I'll ask you or I'll give you two options and you'll tell me which one would you prefer and why. So, David, iOS or Android?
Definitely iOS.
Okay.
Definitely iOS. I remember when Android first came out and people were all into them. They started bugging out on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they started just bugging out and wanting to cut off and all kinds of glitches. Plus, this computer I'm using right now, this good one that's actually working for you is a Mac.
Yeah.
So, and I love Macs. So, definitely go iOS.
Fair, fair. TV shows or movies?
Definitely movies. I like good TV shows. I love Breaking Bad. I love Mad Men. I watched part of The Penguin recently. That was great. I like good TV. It's just it's hard for me to commit to a television show. It's kind of like, some people with a serious relationship, right? Some people can't do a relationship, but they can
Yeah.
do a one night stand or something. A movie you can watch for an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe even three, and you're done, and that's it.
Yes.
But shows like every week, and with everything going on, it's hard for me to stay focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely movies. Like I said, we go to movies several times a week, so I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, no, fair. Tea or coffee?
Um, Probably tea. I'm not a coffee guy.
Ah, I
The
see.
closest out, well, even if we go to Starbucks, I'll get like a chai tea.
Okay.
Uh,
So do you have a
uh,
preference, like a green tea, chai tea, or like
well, I mean, probably the chai tea. I used to be in the South. We love our sweet tea here, but
yeah.
we don't. I can't drink it anymore. It makes me sick. So I stopped drinking sweet tea years ago. I
Hmm.
think the sugar was starting to get to me a little bit. So I stopped drinking the sweet tea and drinking it not sweet. It's just wrong. It's gross. So I just stick to like either I don't even drink my calories anymore. I do mainly like diet or zero sugar sodas or energy drinks. I don't do sugar in my drinks anymore. I
I
feel a
see.
lot better too. I recommend people don't, not trying to get on a soapbox, but I recommend people do not drink your calories like that because it messes with your joints. You just feel terrible. I stopped doing that. I felt so much better. So
Yeah, 100%. Like that's why I drink just water and or coffee. That's yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah, there you go. So I'm sorry. Where are you from? Where are you at exactly?
So I live in
Or kind
Scotland.
of?
I live in
Huh?
Scotland, but I'm originally from Czech Republic.
Okay. So I know us Americans, we don't do the healthy stuff all that well. We're getting better, but
I mean, neither like Czech culture or Scottish culture is necessarily known for being the healthiest of cultures.
yeah,
Like, Czech people love their meat and sauces and different kinds of like dumplings, but not the fluffy light ones you think of like Japanese dumplings. No,
yeah,
we like the bready ones, like the, made out of like bread flour and stuff, which is nice, but
yeah.
not the healthiest. And Scottish cuisine, like, if it exists and we can deep fry it. That's a lot of like, oh, there's a pizza, we can deep fry that. So there is.
Mm.
Money or free time?
Well, if I had to pick one or the other, I'd probably say free time, but I
Mm,
always argue that if you have more money, you have more free time. Because if
okay.
you have money, you have more money, it pretty much it doesn't solve all your problems, but I think it solves most of your problems. It makes life a lot easier. You're less stressed, you're less worried. You can just live your life and not dwell on that as much as for pretty much me or your standard American,
Yeah, yeah.
paycheck to paycheck kind of thing.
Fair, fair. Honesty or other people's feelings?
I'd say honesty. I'd
Okay.
say honesty. It's better to tell the truth. You can always do it in a tactful way, but it's better to be truthful than to just let someone keep doing something that's not good just for the
Hmm.
sake of their feelings. Because that
Yeah.
I think it means you really care about someone if you actually tell the truth.
Hmm. Yeah, no, no, that's fair. That's fair. So you being in North Carolina, I'm wondering about the next one. Summer or winter?
Oh, definitely winter for me. I never tell. I'm a pasty white boy, so I don't do well in the sun.
Yeah.
So I stay out of the sun as much as possible. And our
Hmm.
winters are like mild. We
Oh,
rarely this
that's
past year we actually had like three snows, which never happens.
okay.
We will go years without snowing. So
Hmm.
our winters are like 50s and maybe 60. It actually feels really good here in the wintertime.
That was my next question because I know talking to folks from all over like United States, I know winter is different in California, in Chicago, in New York, and North
Yeah,
Carolina. So that was my like, so 50, 60. Okay, that's again, I don't really do Fahrenheit, but I know that's pretty good. So like, especially for winter. So,
yeah. North
okay.
Carolina is pretty mild. It's got a lot of good things
Hmm.
climate wise. Like you have a little everything here. You have your beaches, you have your mountains, you got
Yeah.
a little bit of swampland. You got cooler parts. You also got it's not too warm. It gets kind of hot here in summer with the humidity. That's the
Hmm.
only really bad part. But you don't get too many hurricanes. You don't get too much flooding.
Hmm.
You don't
Hmm.
get the same stuff that you would get like say California or New York gets a lot of snow, right? Florida gets hurricanes, California gets earthquakes. We really don't get too much of that here. It's few and far between. So in
Okay.
regards to overall balance, that's a safe climate.
Hmm.
It's pretty good here.
Uh, in that way, North Carolina reminds me of Scotland a bit, where like we don't get like the climate here is kind of like I always joke it's just two seasons. You either have like a spring-ish with a mix of summer, or like a autumn or fall with a mix of winter, and that's about it. You have like these two, and it's like basically that where we like our winters are also just yeah, it's fine,
Yeah,
like it's freezing like it dips below zero eventually like here and there and we get snow like but that's mostly for like 3 4 days and then it's gone.
yeah.
So yeah, that kind of reminds me of where I live right now.
I remember one day in college, one time in college, there was a snowstorm came and it was a pretty good snow. It was a couple inches came down. And I swear, by the afternoon, the sun came out, it was gone.
Yep,
It's like
yep.
nothing came. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the hell was that?
No, yeah, that's the same here. Like, if it snows here, like, first day it's snow, second day it's kind of the sludgy thing where it's like sludgy, kind of icy, so you need to be careful, like not to slip. And the third, fourth day it's pretty much gone. So it's like, yeah, same thing. Probably the most important question of all, ninjas or pirates?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. It's
Mm-hmm.
a very tough one. The ninjas is the cooler one, right? Being a ninja is kind of like the cool,
Mm-hmm.
badass. In the 90s, growing up as a kid, there's like so many ninja movies out there. It was a thing. But I probably say ninjas because pirates got to be out in the water in the ocean and they got to deal with the elements like that. Ninjas don't really have to do that. And me, who's not an outside person, I'd probably get ninjas.
That's fair. That's fair. And the last question, free will or destiny?
I say free will.
Ah, free will. All right.
I say free will. I mean, not to get too in depth, but I'm not a spiritual person. I don't believe in an afterlife. So for me, the idea of my life being controlled by a power or something that's above me
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make any sense. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we make our decisions based on our morals and principles and what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody does that, regardless of whether you're religious or not. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel that free will is probably the best thing because at the end of the day, we're all a chain of decisions that we make, right? I may make a decision that may impact somebody else,
Yeah.
okay, and they impact someone. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
So I think we all interact. All our decisions affect one another. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think you're one of the few people who actually landed on one or the other because most people say something in between where it's like, oh
yeah,
yeah, like usually it's like free will, but there's a hint of destiny here and there. Like, if I'm meant to go on this path, I will eventually end up on that path. So you're one of the few, I think you're one of the few people who actually were like, either this or that. So interesting. Okay.
and funny, the whole free will question is kind of debatable among the secular atheist community. Like
Yeah.
Sam Harris wrote a book about no free will, and it's like, okay, when you hear him talk, I see. because he thinks you have free will, but do you really have free will? Because you're going to make the decision you're going to make,
Hmm.
regardless of what you think about it or not, right?
Hmm.
So I kind of get that, but I say no. You still ultimately analyze and make the choices you make. So,
Yeah, agreed, agreed. Okay, and a last question before we move to the flex part of this podcast. Do you have any hot takes or controversial opinions you would like to share with us?
this one I don't think should be controversial, but somehow it is.
Okay,
Um, my girlfriend and I have been down the rabbit hole for probably several months on these predator catcher videos on YouTube.
okay.
You know, the ones where they trap these perverted old men to meet young teenagers.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not a controversial opinion. We think they should all be locked away forever or killed.
Hmm.
That is something we don't shy away from at all. So we hate those people. You
Yeah,
know,
it's.
some people may think, oh, some people say, oh, I don't, you should try to help them or try to
Hmm.
rehabilitate. No, you can't rehabilitate these people. I'm sorry, you
Hmm.
just can't.
It's yeah, and it's fascinating because like here's the thing, right? So I definitely like 100% like I'm not gonna defend anybody like that. I have
Right.
I have though read an interview on this Czech news website with a woman pedophile, and she was
Yeah.
very open about how she's medicated. She's taking all the necessary precautions not to ever act on her urges. And
Hmm.
obviously everything was anonymous. There was no name, no nothing like that. And but like the way she was answering the questions honestly, and like how she's like, imagine being born with this, and when you're a kid, and she's like, when I was a kid, I was attracted to kids, obviously because you're attracted to But then when I grew up, I was still attracted to them, but I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know why. And then
Hmm.
and so she from the interview, I was like, it became clear she never acted on it, and she actually recognized it was wrong. So she
Hmm.
went to see like a specialist. So they put her like so instead of locking her up and throwing away the keys, they actually like got her the need she needed, like
Hmm.
the help she needed, and medication. So she now has like zero like no nothing to zero urges, and like she's like living her life, but like yeah, it's fascinating to me like
Right.
because obviously like we don't want predatory people around kids. Nobody wants that.
No, no,
And
no. No,
but
you're
like
right.
like but I like also feel like if there are people who know, oh, I have these urges but I know they are bad and I want to be helped, I would want to help them rather than punish them for coming forward, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, and I've heard that argument. Like we saw some on YouTube where a
Mm-hmm.
man said something similar, where he was attracted to young boys,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
he knew it, and but he didn't. He knew it was wrong, but he couldn't help it.
Yes.
And I would call that kind of a self-aware thing. So I do think that kind of behavior and action is partially nurture and nature. Some people I think are abused when they're young,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't understand what happened or why, so they think in a weird way that's how they're supposed to do things. And you also have people like, well, wait a minute, because they were raised with a good family, good
Mm-hmm.
friends, no bad experiences, everything good in regard to that aspect of their lives. And then they're like, why do I want to? Why is that 5-year-old hotter? You know, it's like, what's wrong with me? Why am I thinking this, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I will give them credit on that, and that's where the part about being locked away forever, as in, well, in that case, if they're willing to come forward and say, okay, I have this problem, voluntarily locking away,
Ex-
voluntarily putting yourself away, I can respect that. I can at least respect that you're aware of it, you're not
mhm.
hurting anybody, but and that's what's said about the medication.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that if there was a medication to block that, I'd be all for it. If there was a way to
Well,
make
there
that
is a
happen.
medication that blocks your pretty much like libido because like eventually at the end of the day, it's just like they are, for lack of better word, they are horny. But they understand, or some of them, not all, obviously. Many bad people, many they do heinous things to kids, and we don't want them. Again, let's make it crystal clear. But the ones that basically they are like these blockers that block any of your libido, so you're not craving like physical contact, touch, whatever.
Oh,
Like
okay.
there are medicine like well, there are medicine like where side effects is you have decreased libido. So even you like if you will take a medicine for A, B, and C, one of the side effects of one of the medicine will be, oh yeah, you have a girlfriend, oh, in bed it's gonna be a bit tame for a while because like you're just gonna be like, oh, I could physically, but I don't have the urge, so it's like, I might not do anything.
Well, I
And
mean,
I
that's one
think,
alternative. I mean, I'm
yeah,
thinking, is there a way to block the attraction?
I don't think, and that's the thing, right? I
And,
don't.
and, and,
Even
and, and
she
that can be kind
said,
of controversial too, because
hmm
then you can have some anti-gay activists saying, well, if someone's gay, can we block their attraction? You're like, well, wait a
hmm
minute, that's not the same thing. And
yes,
then you
it's
get
not.
people trying to compare homosexuality to pedophilia, which is bullshit. It's nowhere near the same thing.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say that's the,
it's kind of a slippery slope, right? So
yeah,
you got
no.
to be careful with that.
No, I think she was even clear because again, like I only am referring to this one particular article I read a couple of years ago, and it stuck
Yeah,
with me because like she was so open and honest about it, where she again, she's a productive member of society, like she has a job and everything, she interacts
yeah,
with people, but she just is on this medication and she is also under like she goes to like a psychiatrist or psychologist, one of them,
yeah.
and basically talks about these feelings. And that's what I'm saying to those people who are not hiding in the bushes and waiting for to snatch kids and then do bad
Hmm.
things to them, to those people who actually are like, hey, I know this is wrong, I'm raising my hand and I would like help. I
Yes,
wouldn't put them in jail and lock the key. I would be like, oh yeah, okay, we should spend the money to help them, to try to
right.
get them be productive members of society without and like actually like keeping our eye on them as well. Like it's in public interest, really. Like so,
Yeah,
no, but it's
yeah.
definitely like I don't. But as he said to your point, I don't think that's a controversial. Like I think everybody can agree on that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, with all these predator catchers, there's so many of them. I've caught 500, I've caught 600, I've caught 1,000, and they've only doing it for like 2 or 3 years. Like, good God, you're catching one or two a fucking week.
Oh yeah,
What's wrong? It makes
it's
me, how
insane.
bad is this?
It's no, it's bad. Like I've always hear, but see, like to your point, I always hear, not always. Every once in a while, even here, we have a scandal like this. And I still remember in like 5, 6 years ago, like there was a guy who was caught, in his 50s, I think. But
Hmm.
he was caught not with a child, but he had a hard drive, and that was like 2 or 4 terabytes of pictures and videos, like
Oh, kitty
massive. and
porn, yeah.
and if you know how much is terabyte, and he had like 2 or 4, like quite a big number, and it was just all stuff with kids. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy fucking shit. That's
Yeah.
obviously that's
Yeah.
obviously that's what are you talking about? That's obviously very fucking bad.
And, and,
It's
and, and if I may, a slight tangent here.
of course, of course.
My girlfriend and I deciphered the difference between like the real genuine predators who are out there really trying to
Yeah.
hurt people, and
Mm-hmm.
you have some that we call opportunists, which is like, hey, they're not looking for it.
Mm.
It's there. She looks older, yada
Ah.
yada, whatever, right? And they do it, but they're not really into that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's what would be another controversial take. I would say, make prostitution legal and let it go. Because if someone's an opportunist and all it takes them to get laid every once in a while is to go visit a hooker and they're good,
Mm-hmm.
why not? As
Well,
long as
I
it's
yeah.
consensual, of course, and there's no trafficking, nothing like that going on, obviously. What's in the U.S. It's kind of a stigma here. Prostitution thing is still kind of a stigma. There's certain part like in Vegas where it's legal, but it's not
Yes.
totally legal,
Yes.
you know. So it's or Nevada and whatever. But
In quite a few
anyway,
states, like in quite a few states in Europe, like it's legal. In Australia, it's legal. Like yeah,
yeah,
like, and again, it is, and I 100% agree with that because at the end of the day, it's called the world's oldest profession for a reason.
right, all right,
Ever
yeah,
since they
it
were
is,
horny people, whether men or women, and they
yeah,
couldn't get laid for whatever reason, and they had money, eventually money exchanged hands. So like,
yeah,
and again, like if they are consenting adults, and and we're not talking about the girl or a woman has a pimp who would beat her up if she doesn't do it. No,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
That's
that's the
trafficking.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. We are not talking about human trafficking. We are talking about consenting adult, whether a woman or a man, like even gigolos, right? If
hmm,
they want to be like, oh yeah, I'm hot, and people want to fuck me, might as well get paid for it. Okay, go on.
yeah,
Like you're not bothering me as long as you're only doing stuff with consenting adults.
yeah.
None of my business. Fuck it. Just yeah, that's about it. Like like I don't think again. I know how it can be controversial for me. I've been saying this for years. I'm like, I don't understand what's the point because like Netherlands, like Austria, like Australia is the big one. That's it is legalized. You know, the
Yeah,
sex workers there go for regular checkups. They pay taxes.
yeah.
Like,
I'm saying from more of a U.S. thing.
hmm hmm
It's kind of taboo and the religious right aspect of it and things like
religion definitely has a lot of
yes,
things to
yes,
do
very,
with
very
suppressing
fundamentalist type religious people here. So
yeah,
yeah,
suppressing the urges, and
yeah,
then that can always end up only well if you suppress any urge you have. Yeah, that will definitely end up well. No, anyway, like I think that was a good discussion. Do you want to move to the Flix part of this podcast?
yeah. Whenever it's your show, man. Whenever you're ready, it's your show.
Nice.
I'm your
All right.
guest. So.
Now, okay. All right, David. So, what was the sorry. This is the part where I ask you, what was the last movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything 2020s, a new one.
Well, like I said, we go to theater all the time.
Hmm.
Sinners. We witnessed
Nice.
those Sinners. Michael B. Jordan,
Hmm.
Haley Stanfield. Oh my God. Talk about a great movie. That
Yep.
is the best movie of the year so far that I've seen. It is the best one, and it's nowhere close.
Hands
The
down.
acting is great. The cinematography is good. The music is just
Totally.
it's so original and unique, and I'm so glad it's killing it in theaters. I'm so happy. We need more movies like that to do well in theaters. You have
100%.
so many very good original films that come out because they're not necessarily Marvel or they're a mainstream Star Wars movie or anything like that. Not that those are all bad.
Hmm.
It's just no one sees those really good original movies. And when you have something like The Substance or
Yes.
Sinners or a movie like that that actually does well and gets recognition and makes money, it
Hmm.
gives you hope
Yep.
as a
Yep.
cinephile, as someone who's a fan of film. It gives you hope that maybe
Yes.
they'll keep making good movies like this and stop putting shit in theaters.
No, 100%. Like
Yeah,
so this podcast will drop, I think, in about August. So obviously we'll be long removed from Sinners, but we are recording like, in May, early May. So just a bit of a background. And yeah, I've seen Sinners last weekend, and
yeah,
yeah, I was amazed. Like
hmm
Ryan Coogler, the director,
yeah.
he's made he's made The Fruitvale Station, he's made Creed, he's made Black Panther. Just those three, in my book, are excellent movies, all
Well, he's a
three.
great filmmaker.
No,
Absolutely, he's
100%.
fantastic.
And then he makes Sinners, and then makes those incredible movies kind of look pale in comparison because I feel like
Yeah,
that's just his kind of calling card. Is like, hey, I'm also in
right.
the big leagues. I'm here, pay attention, and I'm definitely paying attention. Like, I'm so happy that the movie is doing so well. And if this would end up being my favorite movie of this year, I think it was a great year. If something else will surpass it, I think that would mean this has been an excellent year for movies. Because if
Yeah, yeah,
at end of the year, if Sinners will be my number, let's say 2 or 3, that means two movies were able to surpass that experience.
yeah.
So awesome movie. That's a awesome movie. Okay, so what was the last quote unquote teen movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything between 2003 and 2019.
Um, there was a couple that I liked that I could have picked, but two that stick out that are good for me for rewatch value. I gotta go to Napoleon Dynamite.
Nice.
2004. It's
Nice.
just so weird and awkward.
Hmm.
It's like, Tina, come get some dinner. And I'm sorry, the scene where he kills the cow at the school bus makes me die every time
Hmm.
and never gets old. It's just so dumb, but it's I just love it. I don't know. It's,
I don't think you're the first person who mentions Napoleon Dynamite on this show, and yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely like one of those like as far as the newer movies go, this definitely became kind of a classic. I think at this point, like it's been 20
yeah.
plus years, 21 years now, so like I think like now it's definitely a classic, like in the same way as like Home Alone would be, or like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles would be, or
Oh, I
like
love that one.
those kind of like for this new generation, this is like one of their benchmark movies like, oh yeah, have you seen Napoleon Dynamite? No? What are you doing with your life? You need to watch Napoleon Dynamite. But yeah.
Right. Another one that was kind of close,
Hmm.
but not quite the same was Accepted. The movie
Accepted.
Accepted. Have you heard that one?
No. What is it about?
Oh, it's not as well known. Justin Long's in it,
Hmm.
and it's pretty much him and a bunch of friends. This when Justin Long was like during his prime, getting real big, right before he did Tusk, and then went from there. But
Yeah.
he was doing real well,
Hmm.
and he did his movie called Accepted. Him and his friends, they couldn't get into college.
Hmm.
They couldn't get into college, so they made up a fake website so their parents would think they got into college. They combined a bunch of different school logos and stuff together, and they rented this building out with the tuition money their parents gave them so they can hang out at this building pretending it's a college. Well, what happened is a glitch on the website in which when the guy who, I think Jonah Hill's in it too, the guy who programmed it automatically let everyone in that because it was public. So all these random people could move into this building
Ah.
and they're having to make it a college.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
ridiculous. And Lewis Black makes an appearance in it as well. I'm a big fan of him as Dan. He's funny. So I do. Yeah, I check that one out. It's pretty interesting. I like it.
Okay. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
take your word for it. I'll definitely check it out. So,
yeah.
what is the last quote unquote adult movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything between 2002 and 1975.
Well, it's a shame you had the 2002 cutoff because 2007 was a great year. And a
Yes.
couple that would come to mind, but that's outside of parameter. So the ones inside the parameter, I probably gotta go 1984 Shawshank Redemption.
That's, yeah, you cannot get any better than that, really.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like the perfect movie. I mean, it's on all the time. I mean, great acting, great directing, great writing, the pace. It's like almost a perfect movie.
Yep.
And that was a good year for movies too. A lot of good things. I mean, '94 is a big year for me because I was 10 years old then, and
Hmm.
I remember a lot of stuff from there. I remember like my baseball cards that I had were from those years.
Hmm.
The Sandlot came out around that time. You know,
Hmm.
I remember a lot of stuff during that time, comic books, things like that. Shawshank Redemption was, and now even now, 30 years later, it still holds up.
Oh,
It's a
100%.
brilliant movie.
Yeah, it's just again the ending, the emotions behind that. It's just, like the spirit, that human spirit can, that never breaks with Andy Dufresne. Like it's so beautiful. And obviously like Morgan Freeman narrating the movie just with his lovely voice. It's, yep.
Yeah.
And it just to think that this movie bombed in the box office when
Oh
it
yeah, it
came
did.
out, like massively. It was a huge stinker. It made no money, and now it's
Yeah.
regarded as one of the best movies of all time. It's insane to think that.
Again, it's funny how that works. Like,
Yep.
I had to look up and see what it wouldn't get at the box office, but I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it was a marketer right or something. But I wonder if like there were some other big movies that kind of just dwarfed that took all the attention away and nobody knew about it.
No, yeah, I think so. I think like because like '94, it was a great, for, like was Pulp Fiction, was Forrest Gump, was all these movies, right? So
Yeah,
like
Pulp Fiction's great too. That's true.
yeah, and like many movies would have kind of taken that spotlight, and I think that's one of those like unfortunate things where there must have been one juggernaut of the movie like dominating the box office, and then like, oh, Shawshank Redemption comes out. What does that mean, Shawshank? Oh, I don't like how it sounds, so I'm not gonna go see it. And then you watch it on TV. It's like this is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but prior to this point, this is like one of the first Stephen King adaptations that wasn't a horror scary movie,
That
right?
that is one of the few ones I believe. Yes, that's not like horror.
It was one of the
Yes.
earlier ones because prior to that point, you had all the Pet Cemetery, you had The Stand, you had all these other movies
Hmm.
that he was known for that he wrote, like The Shining, for example, thanks to Stephen King book. So
Yes.
they're all based on like these horror, scary stuff, and this is a human story.
Yes.
But he
Like
does that. He'll go from like supernatural, like what the hell is this, to a real grounded human story, and that's what he does with Shawshank.
yeah.
And that was the first time I think first. If I may be wrong about that. I didn't research it properly, so that's my bad. But I
Hmm.
want to say it's one of the early ones, one of the first major mainstream ones that he did that was not a horror thing.
The only other one that comes to mind is Stand By Me, and there's a sequence with the
Okay,
body,
that's right.
with the
Yeah.
body that's kind of is a bit scary, but like mostly it's about like young boys, that obviously like coming into their own, and but yeah, I think that, but no, like I think you're right. I think this at least at the time was one of the only few works of Stephen King that wasn't like horror or thriller like related or
Right.
adjacent. Yeah, so I
And a
think
few
you're right.
years later, The Green Mile came out. I think '99. The Green Mile came out a few years later.
Yes,
She did
yes.
as well. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, the guys had a help. And I got IMDb Pro, and
Hmm.
we were looking at his IMDb, I think the other night. He has like 42 optioned short stories, books in development.
Hmm.
So he's going to have a lot more stuff coming, even after he's gone, probably. He's going to have a lot more stuff coming.
Was the monkey from this year the also based? I know it was based on a short story. Was it based on Stephen King's short story?
It was.
Yes,
I have not seen it yet.
it's pretty good.
Um,
It's pretty good.
it is. You like it? We were kind of divided on it because we're like, I don't
It's
know. I mean, I guess we got to be in the mood for that kind of movie. We just weren't feeling it then. But
well. Let me
yeah,
ask you this: do you like Final Fantasy? No, Final Destination. Final Fantasy is a game. Final
Final
Destination
Destination.
movies.
I like the first one. Okay, and but you watch. I mean, it's a whole interesting concept, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And they got some bloody kills there too. So I think I get what you're getting at there. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, if you're in the mood for a monkey that every time it drums its wee drum and somebody dies very gruesome death, like
Yeah.
like and funny, it's quite like darkly funny. Like it's not like it's not a to me, it's not a perfect movie, but it's a
Right.
great movie. I had fun with it.
So if you're into gore and you're that
Hmm.
kind of thing, you'll like it pretty much, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and it's like the kills are so over the top. It's ridiculous.
But also, there's
I heard
only
Thanksgiving was like that too.
correct, but there's only five or six, and they are like, yeah, they are gruesome, but they're fairly short. And most of the time you spend like, with Theo James and another Theo James. And this year, by the way, has been big for one actor playing double roles. And now we have like several movies like Mickey 17, Sinners, obviously. Uh, The
Oh,
Monkey. There was one big one as well that another one that had one actor playing in like two roles. There is a team with this year.
huh, okay.
Anyway, what is the last quote unquote old movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything 1974 and older.
And this is going to be a boring answer, but
Mm.
it's obvious. The Godfather. I mean, it's a boring answer. I know it's these are answers been kind of like bland, whatever. But The Godfather again is one of the best movies, if not the best movie ever made.
Hmm.
And it's been 50 years and it still holds up. And I
Hmm.
remember my ex, she had never seen The Godfather, and she says, "I don't know, it's so long." Yeah, but it doesn't matter. And then she was, "Oh my God, it's so good. I guess I told you." Got Brando, Pacino, God, the heavy, the Hall of Famers, so to speak. De
Yep.
Niro comes in a part two, which is still pretty good, by the way. And
Hmm.
it's just the pacing. I like that whole. We'll get into that part of the decades question later, but I
Hmm.
do like the '70s movies. I just like the whole era with the whole pacing and stuff. But it's a
Yeah.
great movie, and the whole history behind it, about how they had to get the mafia's approval to actually do it, and all that was very interesting.
Hmm. No, like I've obviously watched the Godfather trilogy, and it's been a
Yeah,
minute. I need to rewatch it. They are sitting on my shelf, a nice 4K box. So like I definitely am due for a rewatch. But I remember even when I was like 13, which it's probably a bit too young to watch Godfather movies. But I thought, damn, that's pretty good.
yeah. Yeah,
That's
I watched as an adult. I didn't watch till I was much older, and
yeah.
that's why because I remember when I was had my own apartment, I was broke, had no money,
Hmm.
and there's a library down around the corner where you can get free movies. A lot of
Hmm.
their donated, checked out DVDs. So I had a little bitty DVD player with a
Hmm.
small little 13-inch TV,
Hmm.
and I would just check out these movies, watch them, bring them back, and I
Yep.
watched a bunch of '70s stuff from
Hmm.
during that time, and that's when I first discovered The Deer Hunter and Raging Bull and The Godfather and all those movies. I'm like, wow. And I
Yep.
said, yes, these are amazing.
Well, I think that leads us nicely to. I wonder, what is your favorite movie decade?
Well, again, I mean, I know I'm mentioning '70s. I started got to get ahead of you there, but
Hmm.
I know I'm mentioning '70s. But for me, growing up, it's got to be the '90s.
Oh, really?
You know,
Nice.
because growing up as a kid, I mean, watching all those movies that define me now, that I relate to now, the
Hmm.
Kevin Smith films, Clerks, Mallrats, Dogma,
Hmm.
um, of course, The Sandlot was me. I was Scotty Smalls as a kid. That
Hmm.
was me. Okay. Of course, Shawshank, Pulp Fiction, so many movies from the '90s I look back on as part of growing up with nostalgia, you
Hmm.
know, that still hold up today and I think are still worthy of watching compared to new ones. They get hold their own.
Yeah.
So I got some of that personal feeling towards the '90s stuff. Um, so that's definitely my favorite decade. The '70s would be second, though. I probably say the '70s would be my second favorite decade.
No, that's fair. Like 90s and 70s are both excellent. Like
Yeah.
so many great movies, and again, like 90s are like the perfect blend of you have like a blockbusters like Jurassic Park, right? Like a big blockbuster, but you also or Titanic, until Avatar came out, the highest grossing movie of all time. But you also get like your Kevin James, not Kevin James,
Kevin Smith.
Kevin
Yeah.
Smith. I think this is the second time I've made this mistake on this podcast, so I need to get better. Kevin
That's
Smith.
okay. It happens.
You get your Quentin Tarantino's, you get the blend of the indie guys and like the like smaller movies where you get, oh yeah, hey, Johnny Depp is in these smaller movies and then he becomes like this mega star, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When he lands Pirates and when he breaks through, he already has like decades worth of movies for like a great directors. So yeah. Okay. So do you have any movie hot takes you would like to share with us?
A couple. I'm
Okay.
gonna go two different directions. A movie that I love that no one likes, and a
Mm-hmm.
movie that everyone likes that I don't.
Okay, let's
So
see. Let's hear it.
I'll go that direction. First one is the one that I like that nobody likes, The
Hmm.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And
Oh, with the
it is
Sean
such,
Connery?
yeah, Sean Connery, and they use
Mhm.
the old Victorian era character Dorian Gray and Tom Sawyer. It's like, how the hell is Tom Sawyer in there? That was weird. But you look at it, okay, this movie isn't good. You can see the battle wiring, you can see the graphics. Like, what the hell is this? It's got a terrible Rotten Tomato score, but I
Yeah.
fucking love that movie. I don't know why. I just like it. It's just so ridiculous to me.
Hmm.
It's not one that's so bad it's good things like The Room or Troll 2. It's
Yeah.
not like that.
Hmm.
I genuinely like the movie, which is so weird.
Hmm.
I mostly I'm not a yes man all the time, but usually my tastes are usually close in line with the critics. So if
Hmm.
the critics like it, I usually like. If they don't, I don't. So
Hmm.
I'm pretty much on the same wavelength they are. But sometimes I'm a contrarian. In this case, Leaving for a Gentleman, I just like that movie. And I can't explain why.
I've only watched it once a long time ago. So like I think it
Yeah,
was just around the time when it came out and I thought and so I would have been 14, 15, and I thought that's fine. It was totally fine movie. Like
yeah,
but I was like, Sean Connery is interesting choice for that movie. I was like,
yeah. I
okay.
mean, the colony was like in the 60s or 70s, right? At that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Just, but I was like, but yeah, I haven't rewatched it since, so I don't know how much would I like it or not. Whether I would rewatch it now. So, but it's like it's one of those movies where, like, in a similar vein, like, what do you think of Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale?
Oh God, yeah. It's Van Helsing's kind of like that, though.
Kinda.
I don't like it as much. It's
Okay.
been a while since because it was on TV all the time for a while. I remember it,
Yep.
and I remember watching. I don't know if you ever listened to this podcast called How This Get Made.
No, but I've heard of the podcast, but I haven't listened to it.
It's a
No.
great podcast. Paul Shear, Junai
Mm-hmm.
Raphael, Jason Mantzoukas. Of course, they run the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great one. You got to check it out. My girlfriend got me onto it, but we
Okay.
listen to it all the time. And they pull these weird, obscure movies, and they do a lot of Jack Van Helsing. I'm gonna complete blank. I know his name. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Anyway, Wolverine. I know his name. I
Hugh
cannot
Jackman.
draw. Hugh Jackman. Damn it! I can't want to say Jack something. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Got mixed up. Hugh Jackman. They do a lot of his early stuff
Mm-hmm.
on there. And Van Helsing, they did Van Helsing. You look at it, it's this big. I see what you're saying though.
Mm-hmm.
Big grand effects, big name actors, and it was just wow. This is not good, but you just keep watching it.
Yep. Yeah. So what is the other one? What is the one you hate and everybody else loves?
Well, I don't want to say I hate it,
Okay, okay.
but it gets so much praise. I don't understand why.
Hmm.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
exactly. People say
Okay.
it's such an amazing movie. It's a great action packs. Okay, really? I don't know. It's okay. I mean,
Hmm.
you got Tom Hardy, Charlie Theron. They're obviously great. They're
Hmm.
talented, great people, and all that.
Hmm.
The chases are pretty cool sometimes. I'll admit, but okay, to me, it's just a basic action movie. It's nothing special to me. It's
Hmm.
not awful. It's not great. It's just a basic action movie. I don't
Hmm.
think it's special to me. And people are just so into it. Hell, I will go as far as to say that the Mad Max Furiosa was better than Fury Road. Because I watched
Okay.
Furiosa. I
Hmm.
actually kind of like that one.
Hmm.
Fury Road, I don't get. I don't see the appeal. It's so great.
What I liked about it, look, I'm not as I really like it, I don't love it as many around me do. So, but I think what I think many people love about it is like when you think about it, it's like a very pro-feminist movie, but it doesn't actually hit you over the head with it. It just lets you kind of figure it out on your own, and just like because I've heard this argument many a time. Oh, they just go one way, and halfway through the movie they just turn around, and that's the movie. And I'm like, well, yeah, but no. It's
Mhm.
much more than that. They go on like this emotional journey, and Charlize Theron is amazing there, which is like in a movie that's called Mad Max, and she is like the standout performer, and also being Tom Hardy, which he is a
Yeah,
great actor.
well, he's
But
fantastic.
yeah, but she kind of snatches that movie to her, for herself, and I was like, damn.
Right.
And again, I really like it. I don't love it as many people do, but yeah, it's fascinating. But if so, you prefer Furiosa from last year?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I was sitting home one day and I decided it was on Netflix. So I wanted to see it, but I know it didn't do well in the box office. But the critics again were giving it praise. I'm like, well, let's check it out. And I'm a big fan of. I think Anya Taylor was a good actress
Yes.
for the Queen's Gambit. So for the Queen's Gambit rather.
Hmm.
So I began watching. And I was like, this isn't bad. This is a pretty good little movie. I say at the end, it kind of. Sometimes I think movies don't land the ending right.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
kind of tricky to do all that throughout the whole thing to get it right, and they got to cover a lot of material, so I get it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty solid movie overall. I thought it was. I got into it more. Let's put it that way. I got into it more.
No, and again, that's why movies are really, subjective. It either works for you or it doesn't. As
Right.
it's as quote unquote easy as that. Many people will vibe with this movie, and there's always gonna be one or two who will not, and it's fine. Just yeah. But okay, all right. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And so, any other hot movie takes, or are we moving on? Are we driving on?
Driving on.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I mean, again, there's probably so if I really thought about it, I could say some that I like that others don't. I mean, I love the so bad it's good genre, but that's a whole different category. So,
Okay.
that's a whole different thing that we can get into.
No, fair, fair. Okay, I think with this we can move to the underrated part of this podcast where I ask you, David, who do you think is the most underrated actor we have right now?
Um, it may not be the case anymore because I think he's getting a lot more recognition now. But
Hmm.
Nicholas Holt,
Yes.
yeah, he
Speaking
last
of
year
Fury Road.
he was in a bunch of good stuff last year. He was in, of course, Nosferatu. He
Yep.
was in Juror Number Two, and he
Hmm.
was in The Order. And he
Yes.
was playing three totally different characters, and he knocked them out of the park.
Let's not forget
He was
Garfield.
phenomenal. Because I remember seeing him a couple years ago in what was it? The Nicolas Cage movie as Dracula,
Oh,
Renfield.
Renfield. Yes.
I saw that movie. I thought it was great, and he was so good in that. That's when I first noticed him. So, whoa, that guy's really good. Who is that guy?
Hmm.
And then I started seeing him. So now he's starting out, but I think he's getting recognized now. But I think he's going to be in the new Superman movie coming out this summer. I
Yes,
think he plays
he's
Lex Luthor in that.
yes, he is.
So I think he is very good. But I will say for the guy who I think will have that title this year
Hmm.
for 2025 is a guy named Will Poulter.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
yeah, of course. I first saw him in Meet the Millers. He
Hmm.
was the awkward teenage boy, and he was
Yes.
so funny. But I haven't seen him much since then. But he was in Death and Unicorn, which he was good in that.
Hmm.
And he was also he's in his movie Warfare, which I haven't seen yet.
Hmm.
Warfare, I think, will be a good one. He's in that one as well. He's also going to be in another movie coming out. So I think Will Poulter may be this year's Nicholas Hoult. So
Okay. And let's
yeah.
not forget for with Nicholas Hoult, first of all, Fury Road. So we're driving back there because he is the oh, what a day, what a lovely day. That's him in Fury Road.
Oh, he's what now?
And
Oh yeah,
he
yeah, he is in that. That's
yeah.
no. Was he in Fury Road?
Yeah, he's the one he's done what a lovely day, what a
Yeah,
day,
that
what
is
a
him. That's
lovely
right.
that is him.
That is
That
him.
is
Yeah, I remember
Nicholas
that.
Hoult.
Yeah.
And when he named all his movies, let's not forget Garfield movie from last year. He was John.
I did not see that movie. No, I did not know that.
I did. It's totally average. It's not the worst piece of crap people pretend it to be. I don't think it's just average. It's just offensively average movie. It's like it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I kind of tuned out when they said Chris Pratt. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah,
Chris Pratt's voice and another character. Come on, there's
yeah.
someone else like Chris Pratt that can do this.
Mario, oh, yeah, Mario, and
God
now
damn it.
Garfield. What the fuck? Like why? Yeah, I totally get that. No, and Will Poulter, to your credit, Death of a Unicorn, I liked a bit more than others, but I thought it was still like okay movie. But Will
Yeah, yeah,
Poulter makes it great. Like Will Poulter
yeah.
steals every scene he's in.
Yes, he plays that spoiled brat shithead kid that we all want to punch in the face, and,
Yes.
it's pretty great. I also like that movie because of the Ortega and Rudd dynamic. The
Hmm.
father-daughter dynamic was so good there because I have a daughter as well, so I really related to that one. It was such a good dynamic, and it's a movie that's not for everybody because it deals with some supernatural. So people are like this is weird. Let me think
Hmm.
it's weird, if you're quote unquote normie.
Hmm.
But at the same time, we really liked it. We thought it was very original. I love original stuff.
Yes.
Anything that's original outside the box, I'm in.
Hmm.
So I thought it was a pretty solid movie personally.
Me too. Like I again, I thought it was a solid two. I just hoped the movie was more than the trailer showed us. And then when like the movie is nothing more than, hey, rich people bad, poor people good, and I'm like, okay, we've definitely not seen this in the past 5 years done much better than this, but good. Like
Yeah.
I just thought, and again, like I didn't expect what I'll give the movie credit for, besides Will Poulter. I didn't expect this there to be so much horror. Like, the last third kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park. Like,
Oh,
in
those
the
kills are awesome. Oh my God. Those
and they
unicorn
like
kills are
tense.
amazing.
And they are it's tense. Like the tension is actually pretty good. Like so
Yeah.
if you can be on board, then like the message is like it's quite, it doesn't give you anything more. Like I always think of it like this. If I were to rewatch this movie, I will not pick up anything new because I've already picked up everything that this movie has to offer. Whereas like something like,
Right.
like there's some layered movies where you can rewatch them 5 times and each time find something new and something else to grab on, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I thought it was a solid movie. I hoped it would be better, but it's not terrible by any means. You're right.
Yeah, I'll say one quick point to Death of a
Tell me.
Unicorn. I wouldn't necessarily say that Paul Rudd's character was poor.
Hmm.
These people were just stupid rich. They
Hmm.
were just ridiculously rich. I wouldn't say Paul Rudd's character was actually poor
No, no,
necessarily.
not poor, but definitely like, all we need is money, and we'll be like, Paul Rudd was the dad who's like, oh, we will just do this one job, this one family, quote
Right.
unquote,
Yeah, I get it.
and
I
we'll
get what
be
you're saying.
sorted for life. I want
Yeah.
you to be sorted for life, like them are. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but that even came back to his spoiler alert. It came back to him missing his wife. It went down. It went
Yes,
back to a promise his wife he made to his wife.
yes,
So it
yes,
really
correct.
wasn't money. It was just his wife that made him do it. But yeah.
I know. No, but no, I again, I didn't actually hate it as much as many others. I thought it was okay. I thought it was like a solid movie. So yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, who do you think is the most underrated actress we have right now?
Oh, she's been around for a long time.
Hmm.
But she's always does supporting roles. Everything she's in, she just smashes. And that's Helen Bonham Carter. I think she is great.
Hmm.
I know she's married to Tim Burton and she gets lost with Tim Burton. But it's one
No,
of those
not
things
longer. Not
well
longer,
now,
by the way. Not longer.
well,
They've
she was
divorced.
married to him for a long time,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. They had. Yeah.
But yeah, but because of that, she got a lot of stuff he did,
Hmm.
which you expect, being a spouse of a director and all that. But I'm not mad at it because she's great.
Yes.
It doesn't upset me if the nepotism's good. If the person is good, I don't care.
Yeah.
She was good, so she's played so many characters from from Harry Potter to the everything in like Nightmare Before Christmas. Everything she does is just so solid, and you see her it's like, oh, it's gonna be a good movie then, because you know she's in it. Even though
No.
she's played supporting parts, you know
Mhm.
it's gonna be good because she's in it.
No, she's always a nice addition to any movie. I
Yeah.
love her because a person who grew up reading Harry Potter books and then obviously watching Harry Potter movies, the way she portrays Bellatrix Lestrange,
Oh yeah, yeah,
that character, and she fucking nails it. Like ever since she got introduced, I was like, damn, I cannot imagine anybody else doing that role. So this TV show
yeah,
that's coming out, it's gonna be interesting who they're gonna cast in like the third, fourth season when
yeah,
she
yeah,
appears. Because like
yeah.
Helena Bonham Carter like killed that role, and I really you love to hate her in that role. Like,
As someone, I mean, have you read all the Harry Potter books?
yes.
Yeah, I read them all too, and I know that you read the character. Oh my God, this bitch is evil, and then
Hmm.
you see her and she portrays it right on. It's not over top.
Yes.
It's just right. It's like
Yes.
she got it. You know.
Yeah. Like she appears, and the first like minute, and you're like, oh yeah, she is Bellatrix Lestrange. She is
Yeah.
that character. Like no doubt.
Nails it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Very good pick. So, what about some directors? Who do you think is the most underrated director we have right now?
Well, besides, well, I don't think Ryan Coogler is anymore.
Okay,
Not with
fair.
Sinners. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy's been around for a long time, but he's done a lot of smaller stuff that you wouldn't know. There's like no like Darren Aronofsky. He's been around
Nice.
for a long time. I know people would say he's not underrated, but he didn't have the big name movies or the big money movies that a lot of these other directors have. Like he did The Well with
Hmm.
Brendan Fraser. That was good. He's done all kinds of like low key movies like that. Sorry. Oh, Requiem for a Dream as well. My girlfriend chimes in. Requiem for a
Yes.
Dream.
Yes, Requiem for a Dream, like Fountain is a great one.
He's
Like,
in Pi as well. He's done a bunch of stuff.
yeah, exactly, like a
The Wrestler,
wrestler.
which I love. The Wrestler, are my favorite movies of all time. Black
Yeah.
Swan.
Black
No, we don't
Swan
have
is
her on here to tell
excellent.
them all. She's been in my life right now. Black
Yeah.
Swan, and there are all these movies that aren't necessarily like big budget or like big box office films, but
Hmm.
they're all done so well, and they're well made, and they're well paced, and you can definitely tell he handles them with care.
100%. And I hope he's now back to his like roots. I still haven't seen The Whale, but I've seen Mother. Well, Mother.
Yeah,
And
he did Mother too. Yeah.
yes, and that's a movie. I'm one of those who actually likes the movie. So,
Oh yeah.
but like I just hope now he goes back to his like like Requiem for Dreams, Fountain, or Black Swan kind of like moods and
Yeah.
roots, because like
Right.
those movies he nails. Like Black Swan, I still think is very underrated, even though Natalie Portman, that's what she won an Oscar for that role. So
Yeah.
no, that's a great one. Okay, I know the next one is difficult, but do you have a one or two movies you would want to shout out as underrated?
I do actually.
All
Yes.
right.
It's a satire. This movie came out has Aaron Eckhart in it. It's called Thank You for Smoking.
Yes,
Thank You for Smoking. You know what I'm talking about. It's a
I've
movie
seen
that
it.
no one's ever heard of. The average person, like, what's that? What's that? It's one of the movies I got at the library one day. I was said it was, oh my gosh, it's great. And it was so funny and so
Yes.
wrong, but so funny. And it was like Aaron Eckhart, that was his, obviously I love him in Dark Knight as Two-Face,
Hmm.
Harvey Dent, but Thank You for Smoking to me is his best movie. And it's
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that movie. It's like what the hell you see it. They're using smoking, but it's applied to everything else, and you totally get it, and it still works now. I love that movie.
Talk about announcing the character, like like when it starts on a TV show, and the kid is there dying from cancer, and it's like, okay, what do you say to this kid? And like, we don't want him to die, we want him to continue smoking. Like, kid, have a cigarette, and just like how he flips it on its head, and you're like,
And it's like,
he's
what are you talking about?
yeah, and he's like, he's wrong, but he's got a point, but he's wrong. And it's
Yeah,
just so funny, like and he makes that character so cool. That's a movie I want to rewatch. I loved. I only watched once, but I absolutely fucking loved. And that was my interaction with Jason Reitman because that was his feature debut. Then he did like Up in the Air, which he was nominated for all the Oscars and stuff.
yeah.
But that was like his like a big breakthrough, and for Aaron Eckhart as well. Like no, brilliant, brilliant movie. You said you have a second one as well.
Underrated? No, no.
Okay,
I'd say Thank You for Smoking because
all right.
that was one I love,
Mhm.
and nobody's heard of it. I tell people like, what's that? You never heard of it? Like no one's heard of it.
I
There's
think that's
ones
a
that I love that people have heard of, but that's the one that no one's heard of it.
no, yeah, that's a perfect definition of underrated because you're right. Nobody talks about this movie, and they
Yeah,
should. They should. It's so funny.
exactly.
And is there a TV show or two you would want to shout out as underrated?
Um, During this time, I guess it's more of a niche kind of show. Came out in '90s, the Highlander TV show.
Hollander, okay.
Highlander, yeah, I loved Highlander growing up. My stepmom
Hmm.
would, and she's the one who brought me into it because she thought Adrian Paul was so pretty, whatever. But I wanted to, because sword fighting, the Immortals, the Quickenings, the whole thing was just so cool to me.
Hmm.
and then I eventually watched the movies later, and that franchise needs a reboot bad. And I'm hoping this new Highlander coming out next year, supposedly with Henry Cavill in it, will be good
Hmm.
because outside of the original movie and the TV show,
Hmm.
and maybe the anime they did, the rest of the movies suck. They're unwatchable and they're terrible, and they
Hmm.
screw it up so badly. But they do it as as like, please do it right.
Hmm.
Please do it right. Because, but yeah, the series it was so 90s, right? It was such a 90s TV show. Every 20 episodes a season,
Hmm.
but it wasn't perfect. But basically, the last season was really just tanked off because people were leaving the show and they were trying to do something else anyway,
Hmm.
But yeah, I really liked that show growing up.
Okay, I've never seen the show or even heard of that show, to be honest. I've only heard of the movies and I've seen the first one and I haven't seen the others. I
Yeah.
heard they're quite bad, the sequels, but
Oh,
the
they're
show,
terrible. They are horrendous.
yeah.
I tried watching the source
Hmm.
and I was embarrassed. I wanted to bash my head with a hammer. It was so terrible. I'm like
Okay.
you're breaking my child. You're killing my childhood. Stop.
No, but that show looks quite interesting. And yeah, like 7.2 on IMDb.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
for its genre, it won a lot of Saturn Awards. It was
Hmm.
very popular within its genre. Outside
Hmm.
the genre, no one really knew about it. But if you were really into sci-fi, you liked Highlander. That's how it was in the early 90s, like 96 or something, 98 or something when it ended.
Hmm.
But it went on for several years.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that recommendation. Okay, this is interesting. Well,
Uh, and for the
th
record, they're
tell me.
actually free on YouTube. There's 3 episodes on YouTube. So if you want to watch them on
Mm,
YouTube, they're totally free. And most of them are on there too. So if you want to check it out, you can actually watch most of the episodes on YouTube.
yeah. YouTube is such a magical place nowadays. You can find quite
Yeah,
a
it
few
is.
things there for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means that's totally legal and legit. Like, it's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I
I
think it was
like it.
uploaded about it's changed ownership a few times.
Yeah.
Like if people have bought the rights over the years. So whoever's downloaded, they haven't got busted yet. So I don't know.
Correct. Well, David, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for taking your time. Before we say goodbye, I've asked you so many questions, and you've been kind enough to answer all of them. Do you have a question or two for me?
Yeah, I guess so. Sure. So you said you live in like the Czech Republic?
No, I am from Czech Republic. I live in Scotland.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you're over in Europe and everything.
Hmm.
So I guess what got you into podcasting and doing this kind of thing and
Hmm.
talking and reaching out like this? Because it's always a very international thing. I'm in the United States, you're overseas.
Yeah.
So what kind of got you into this?
Well, I've had this idea for more than a year before I even started. Like this is my year and a half now, and before that, I like had an idea for a podcast where people just come in and talk to you as if like we were sat down at a pub and had a pint of beer or something, and just talked about like life and movies because like I like to follow and read about movies from other people on the internet, but I
Yeah,
never know about the people behind those opinions. And I always am interested in learning about more about the people, who, hey, this person writes about movies, and I like most of what they write, but I don't really know what they stand for. I don't really know them as people. So I just wanted to have a platform where, hey, anybody who loves movies can come in and we can have a chat about life and we can have chat about movies and we,
yeah.
find some common ground and it'll be fun.
Well, that's great. I mean, I'm glad you brought me on. I appreciate it. I joined. I'm trying to get out there and do more stuff, whether it's acting, writing, even being on
Hmm.
podcast stuff. And I've did one podcast. Now I'm here with you, and I'm going to do some more. I think later this summer or something. So
Hmm.
I'm very excited about it. But it's a good platform, definitely.
Oh, nice. Any other questions for me?
No, I'm
All good?
good. It was a fun time.
No,
Thanks for having me on.
all
I
good.
love talking about this stuff. A lot of people don't follow movies like I do, so it's hard to have this conversation
Hmm.
because I think a lot of people I know in my life are the Marvel people.
Hmm.
They're the new Star Wars people, and
Yeah.
they're your generic average person who's not into film like that.
Hmm.
So I talk about something like, "What are you talking about?" Or
Hmm.
they think I'm snobby sometimes. It's like, no, I just have standards.
No, yeah. See, yeah, exactly. I'll have to say that from now on. I'm not snobby. I just have standards. Yeah,
Yeah,
that will that will put me in good books with many people.
yeah.
No, no. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and for our discussion. I enjoyed it. If
Hmm.
people also enjoyed it, what's the best place for anybody to follow you?
All right. Well, I'm probably addicted to Twitter way too much, so or X, whatever you want to call it. You can probably follow me on X. It's under my name, David Knight at David Knight 89. I tweet a lot of sports stuff, a lot of baseball. I also tweet movie news, my personal opinions on stuff. I do like little Twitter movie reviews whenever we do go to movies. So it's probably the best place to follow me. I do have some idea to start a YouTube channel soon, but nothing definite yet.
Hmm.
I'm trying to work out something, some kind of idea that I'm trying to iron out.
Hmm.
So I'll hold off on talking about that right now. But
Hmm.
there are some things I'm working on. Hopefully, more mainstream that people will see me or hear about me on. So
Okay, so just the Twitter. Okay, that will be down there in the description below, so people
yeah.
just can click on it and find you. And as far as me, myself, as always, in Movies Lost on Letterboxd, here every other Friday, or my blog, lostinmovies.co.uk. And this is the end. So, as always, this podcast is part of SPDM Crew Media, and a special thanks goes to HiFlyer Creative for designing my logo. To see what else they have happening, visit highflyercreative.com. And until next time, bye bye.